Have you ever felt the chill of a forgotten film brush the back of your neck? Somewhere between moonlit turrets and candlelit corridors, Hollywood's 1950s Gothic castle thrillers lurk, waiting, whispering, hungry for rediscovery. Tonight, we journey through 13 spectacular, shadow-soaked films left behind by the mainstream, but loved by those who crave the spine-tingling, the atmospheric, and the achingly mysterious. Keep your lantern high, cinephile. Our journey begins now. The Black Castle, 1952. Beneath brooding clouds and the ominous silhouette of an Austrian stronghold, the Black Castle spins a web of intrigue and dread that pulls viewers in from its very first thunderclap. Sir Ronald Burton, played with dashing intensity by Richard Green, travels deep into enemy territory to investigate the disappearance of his friends, only to become ensnared in a castle riddled with lethal secrets and deadly adversaries. The genius of this film lies not only in its labyrinthine plot, where dungeons and crocodile pits await the unwary, but in the heavy, haunting performances of genre titans Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney Jr. Karloff, as the castle's tormented physician, offers a performance steeped in melancholy, while Chaney looms with brutish menace. Director Nathan Juran, a master of atmosphere, transforms Universal's Gothic backlot into a world unto itself. These very sets once housed the likes of Dracula and Frankenstein, lending an authentic sense of history and dread. The use of recycled scenery was both practical and poetic. With a modest budget, Juran creates a sumptuous Gothic playground full of candlelit stairwells, secret passages, and eyes that seem to watch from every shadow. Though its initial release barely registered at the box office, The Black Castle became a favorite among late-night horror enthusiasts. For decades it simmered quietly, gaining cult status as critics and cinephiles began to appreciate its intricate plotting, moody visuals, and the electric interplay between its horror legends. It stands today not only as a Gothic thriller, but as a testament to the enduring allure of castle-bound chills. Castle of the Living Dead, 1958. Step inside a world where circus performers become pawns in a macabre, deathly game, a world conjured by the unforgettable Castle of the Living Dead. This film lures a ragtag troupe of entertainers into the cold embrace of Count Drago's castle, an ancient edifice where marble statues seem to weep and every shadow is alive with sinister intent. The enigmatic Christopher Lee commands the screen as Drago, whose obsession with eternal beauty manifests in ways as chilling as they are poetic. Lee's performance here is pure Gothic artistry, blending hypnotic charm with icy villainy. Shot amid the mist and ruins of the Italian countryside, Castle of the Living Dead is a masterclass in atmospheric horror. Director Warren Kiefer, shrouded in mystery himself, often operating under a pseudonym, infused the film with European style, surreal pacing, and a palpable sense of dread. The production was notoriously fraught, scripts rewritten daily, the cast doubling as crew, and budget so low that ingenuity became the real star of the show. Yet from this chaos emerged something hauntingly beautiful, a dreamlike nightmare in celluloid. Initially dismissed as foreign pulp, the film has become a cult treasure for those who appreciate the slow-burn tension of Gothic horror. Its mesmerizing funereal pace and Lee's unforgettable presence leave an indelible mark. And for fans, it stands as a touchstone, a proof that even films born of adversity can achieve eerie, aching brilliance. Today, Castle of the Living Dead is essential viewing for anyone eager to be drawn into a spectral web where every corridor leads to wonder and terror. The Maze, 1953. Fog seeps across the Scottish moors, curling around a castle where reality itself seems to twist and fracture. In The Maze, director William Cameron Menzies builds a world where the past is a living, breathing entity and the future is as uncertain as the labyrinth outside the castle's walls. When Gerald MacTeam unexpectedly inherits his ancestral estate, he vanishes into its cold, echoing chambers, leaving his fiancée, Kitty Murray, desperate for answers and willing to brave whatever terrors lurk within. Richard Carlson, as Gerald, delivers a performance tinged with longing, confusion, and a growing sense of dread, while Veronica Hurst's Kitty is both determined and vulnerable, her every footstep echoing through the castle's cavernous hallways. The Maze is a film ahead of its time, one of the earliest 3D horror features. It uses the format not for gimmickry, but to amplify the sense of otherworldly menace. The hedges of the titular maze are alive with suggestion. The sound design hums with half-heard whispers and the flutter of unseen wings. What truly sets The Maze apart is its willingness to plunge viewers into the surreal. The climactic reveal, a creature of astonishing strangeness, shocked audiences and left critics baffled. While some dismissed it as absurd, fans now celebrate its sheer audacity. Over time, The Maze has grown into a beloved cult oddity, its hypnotic pace, lush visuals, and haunting soundscape pulling viewers back again and again. For modern lovers of psychological horror, it stands as a warning and a wonder. Never take the straight path, and beware what waits at the center of the maze. The Night Has Eyes, 1950 U.S. re-release. Rain beats against the window panes, the wind claws at the doors, and two teachers, lost on the treacherous Yorkshire moors, find themselves seeking shelter in a mansion as ominous as any specter. The Night Has Eyes is Gothic cinema at its most raw and vulnerable, a film that trades on fear not just of the supernatural, but of the darkness that dwells within every human heart. Inside the storm-battered house, James Mason's Stephen Derrimid broods like a Byronic hero, his war-scarred psyche revealed in flickers and shadows. Joyce Howard's Marion is both the audience's guide and its conscience, her empathy and suspicion shifting with every candlelit scene. Shot almost entirely on claustrophobic sets at Welwyn Studios, the film's visuals drip with menace and melancholy. Originally a 1942 British release, its American resurgence in 1950 tapped into the post-war appetite for moody thrillers and psychological suspense. The production used ingenious lighting and sound to amplify tension, the relentless wind, the groaning timbers, the sense that something unseen prowls just beyond the edges of vision. Though it was overshadowed by flashier Hollywood fare, The Night Has Eyes became a staple of late-night television, drawing a cult following among noir enthusiasts and fans of Gothic romance. Its legacy endures in the aching performances, the ever-present dread, and the way it leaves viewers questioning not just what haunts old houses, but what haunts us all. This is a film for anyone who has ever felt the cold hand of fear close in as the night deepens and the storm rages outside. The Strange Door, 1951. Step across the threshold and into the heart of madness. The Strange Door is a feverish swirl of hatred, vengeance, and desperate love set against the shadow-laced corridors of a French chateau. Charles Laughton, larger than life and twice as terrifying, is the sadistic Sire de Malétroit, orchestrating a game of psychological and physical torment designed to destroy both friend and foe. His performance crackles with twisted delight, every sneer and snarl amplifying the castle's sense of malevolence. The tortured soul of the film is Boris Karloff, who brings gravitas and compassion to Voltaire, a servant caught between obedience and his own yearning for justice. Joseph Pevney's direction, though constrained by Universal's modest budgets, is taut and stylish, making inventive use of light, shadow, and the chateau's sprawling architecture. Adapted from Robert Louis Stevenson, the story weaves a tapestry of old-world intrigue and doomed romance. At release, critics dismissed The Strange Door as overwrought, but modern audiences find pleasure in its success, the winding staircases, the echoing dungeons, the sense that no one, not even the walls, is truly innocent. Over time, its melodrama and Gothic grandeur have earned it a devoted cult. its influence felt in later Hammer horrors and modern Gothic tales alike. The Strange Door endures as a dark, delirious fairy tale, proof that in cinema the line between madness and genius is often as thin as a castle wall. The House in the Square, 1951. Time itself seems to bend and shimmer in The House in the Square, a haunting romance where science and the supernatural entwine in the corridors of an ancient English mansion. Tyrone Power stars as Peter Standish, a modern physicist who finds himself transported back to the 18th century, fated to fall for Anne Blyth's luminous Celia. Their love story unfolds within candlelit parlors and echoing stairwells, each scene alive with the possibility of both wonder and doom. Director Roy Ward Baker spares no detail, filling the film with lavish costumes and sets that recreate a vanished world. The production spared no expense, ballrooms agleam with chandeliers, gardens blooming in perpetual twilight, and interiors that seem to sigh with memory. Yet beneath the surface, beauty lies an aching melancholy. Power's character is ever aware that every moment may be their last, that destiny is a cage as unyielding as stone. Despite its lush production, the film's U.S. title confused audiences, blunting its box office impact. Yet for those who discover it, The House in the Square is a revelation, a film that aches with longing, where the past feels heartbreakingly alive and love is haunted by the specter of loss. Its blend of Gothic setting, time travel fantasy, and emotional intensity have made it a cult favorite, a hidden treasure for those who believe the ghosts of history still have stories left to tell. The Son of Dr. Jackal, 1951. In The Son of Dr. Jackal, the sins of the father shadow every corridor, every echoing hall of a castle that might as well be a tomb. Years after the notorious Dr. Jekyll met his grisly end, his orphaned son, Edward, played with tormented nuance by Lewis Hayward, returns to reclaim his heritage and prove his innocence. But the past is a heavy shroud, and the townspeople's suspicions are as relentless as the fog that creeps across the castle grounds. Director Seymour Friedman makes superb use of Columbia Pictures' Gothic sets, employing light and shadow to blur the line between memory and reality. Jody Lawrence as Lynn Utterson is the film's heart, her loyalty and vulnerability grounding Edward's increasingly desperate quest. Props and set pieces recycled from earlier horror hits lend the film a patchwork quality, as if the very stones are haunted by cinematic ghosts. At the time, critics scoffed at the film's derivative nature, but television reruns gave it a second life, allowing new generations to connect with its themes of legacy, identity, and the eternal battle between good and evil. For today's audiences, The Son of Dr. Jekyll is more than just a curiosity. It's a moving exploration of how the shadows of our past can shape and sometimes warp the present. This is Gothic horror at its most personal, where the true monster is often the history we cannot escape. The Mad Magician, 1954. Under the gaslights of a grand Victorian mansion, vengeance takes the stage, and Vincent Price is its master of ceremonies. In The Mad Magician, Price's Don Gallico is a creative genius betrayed by those closest to him, transforming his passion for illusion into a lethal art. Each room of the mansion becomes a potential stage for murder, with secret panels and velvet drapes masking deadly intent. Director John Brom infuses every scene with noir sensibility, making the castle both a sanctuary and a snare. The film was shot in 3D, a technical marvel at the time, which let audiences duck flying saws and gasp at illusions brought terrifyingly to life. Behind the scenes, the crew worked tirelessly to blend practical effects with Gothic set design, each prop a possible murder weapon, each shadow hiding a trick. Though its box office never reached the heights of House of Wax, The Mad Magician became a cult favorite thanks to Price's magnetic performance. His descent from misunderstood artist to vengeful killer is both chilling and oddly sympathetic, a testament to Price's uncanny ability to make us root for even the darkest of anti-heroes. Today, the film is celebrated as a showcase of ingenuity and style, its mix of suspense, spectacle, and Gothic gloom continuing to enchant fans of vintage horror. The House of the Seven Hawks, 1959. Adventure, intrigue, and a touch of melancholy suffuse every frame of The House of the Seven Hawks. American sailor John Nordley, played by the ruggedly charismatic Robert Taylor, is drawn into a web of crime and betrayal after stumbling upon a sunken treasure and into the halls of a stately Dutch castle teeming with secrets. Nicole Morey's character, Anne, is mysterious and alluring, the perfect foil for Taylor's hard-boiled demeanor. Director Richard Thorpe turns the rain-soaked Netherlands into a landscape of menace and opportunity. The castle itself is both sanctuary and labyrinth, its rooms echoing with whispered deals and hidden threats. Filming on location was a logistical nightmare, equipment delays, weather chaos, and language barriers. But the results are atmospheric and richly textured, a rare fusion of Gothic grandeur and noir grit. The movie's genre-bending plot, part thriller, part adventure, part Gothic mystery, confused audiences and limited its commercial success. But for those willing to follow its twists and turns, The House of the Seven Hawks is a jewel waiting to be discovered. Today, film historians celebrate its unusual blend of American hard-boiled storytelling with old-world castle intrigue, and it holds a special place in the hearts of those who love their mysteries with a side of ancient stone and stormy skies. The Bat, 1959. Lightning forks the sky. A masked killer, known only as the Bat, prowls the cavernous halls of a Gothic mansion, hunting for loot and leaving terror in his wake. The Bat is a high-wire act of suspense, a murder mystery wrapped in the velvet drapes of a haunted house thriller. Agnes Moorehead, as intrepid mystery writer Cornelia Van Gorder, is sharp, resourceful, and utterly magnetic, holding her own against a gallery of suspects and red herrings. But it's Vincent Price, as the enigmatic Dr. Malcolm Wells, who keeps audiences guessing. Is he friend or fiend? Innocent or architect of the terror? Price's performance brims with ambiguity, a perfect match for director Crane Wilbur's relentless pace. Filmed in just 3 weeks on classic Hollywood sets, the movie makes every dollar count, with creative lighting and prop work turning ordinary rooms into death traps. Initially dismissed as a B-movie, The Bat became a public domain sensation, showing up on late-night TV and delighting new fans with its blend of Christie-esque mystery and Gothic chills. Its suspenseful plot, razor-sharp banter, and unforgettable villain have given it enduring cult status, and for lovers of whodunits with a dash of haunted house, there's simply nothing else like it. The Screaming Skull, 1958. No film plays the haunted house card quite like The Screaming Skull. From its very first moments, promising viewers a free burial if they die of fright, it sets the tone for a ride equal parts playful and petrifying. Newlywed couple Jenny and Eric return to a grand estate, but Jenny's dreams soon curdle into nightmares as the ghostly presence of Eric's first wife and the titular Screaming Skull begin to torment her sanity. John Hudson and Peggy Webber make a compelling pair, their marriage slowly unraveling as suspicion, gaslighting, and terror creep in. Director Alex Nicole, who also plays the menacing gardener, infuses every shot with a sense of dread, using sound, lighting, and the uncanny architecture of the mansion to blur the line between reality and madness. The skull itself becomes a character, sometimes a symbol of guilt, sometimes an instrument of terror. Despite a rock-bottom budget, the film conjures atmosphere from every creak and shadow. Critics howled, but audiences were enthralled, making it a staple of late-night horror marathons and a beloved entry in the public domain horror canon. Today, The Screaming Skull endures as both a cautionary tale about the ghosts we can't escape and a testament to the power of suggestion. Sometimes, what we imagine is scarier than any special effect. The Thing That Couldn't Die, 1958. There's something timeless about an ancient curse, and The Thing That Couldn't Die serves it up with eerie, pulpy flair. On a fog-choked California ranch, teenage psychic Jessica unearths a mysterious, centuries-old chest buried near the ruins of a once magnificent castle. Inside lies the severed, living head of the immortal sorcerer Gideon Drew, his gaze filled with hypnotic malice, his power undiminished by the passage of ages. William Reynolds and Andra Martin anchor the cast with earnest performances, but it's Robin Hughes as the sinister head of Drew who sends shivers down the spine. Director Will Cowan, a veteran of Universal's horror stable, brings together inventive set pieces, foggy landscapes, and a genuinely unsettling villain. The film's low budget is masked by creative prop work and a pace that never lets up, building to a final confrontation amid the crumbling stones and overgrown passageways of Drew's ruined fortress. At the time, the thing that couldn't die was dismissed as drive-in fodder, but its gothic trappings and blend of psychic horror have since won it a loyal following. Today, it stands as a unique artifact of mid-century horror, as likely to inspire a chill as a chuckle, but always a thrill for those willing to believe that some evils are too old and too powerful to die quietly. Macabra, 1958. Darkness, desperation, and a ticking clock, a recipe for terror if there ever was one. Macabra plunges us into a small town's nightmare as Dr. Rodney Barrett races to find his missing daughter who has been buried alive in the twisting catacombs beneath their ancestral mansion. Thunder booms, coffins creak, and every moment is drenched in dread. William Prince leads the cast with raw urgency, anchoring a plot that never lets the audience breathe. The film marks the true debut of William Castle as horror's ultimate showman. Castle mortgaged his home to finance Macabra, betting everything on a chilling gimmick. Every ticket came with free burial insurance. The stunt paid off, packing theaters and creating buzz that critics couldn't ignore. Shot on a shoestring, the film leans hard into its Gothic roots, lightning-lit crypts, echoing vaults, and a mood of relentless claustrophobia. Although scoffed at by many mainstream critics, Macabra quickly gained a reputation for its breathless pace and chilling suspense. It was the first step in Castle's journey to horror legend, and its Gothic sensibilities, rooted in old houses, secret sins, and the specter of death, still capture the imaginations of fans today. For anyone who's ever feared the dark, Macabra is both a warning and an invitation. There are some stories we bury, and others that refuse to stay dead. As we close the creaking doors of these 13 forgotten castles, we're reminded that the best secrets are the ones worth seeking. From fog-drenched moors to torchlit dungeons, these films reveal the beauty and terror of Hollywood's most Gothic dreams. Which of these haunted gems have you braved? Which castle would you dare to enter? Let us know in the comments. Your voice brings these legends back to life. And don't forget to subscribe to Movieverse, ring the bell, and join us on the next journey into cinema's darkest, most spellbinding corners. The past isn't dead, it's waiting for you just beyond the next thunderclap. Stay curious, stay brave. More forgotten masterpieces await.